everybody! Welcome to Dangerous to Game Alone. I'm STFUnicorn.
And I'm Tosicamir. I know it is too early to be making a video like this, but it's something that has to be done.
Yes.
So, it's early in the morning, and
For us, anyway.
well, for our person that we're talking about as well, it was pretty early in the morning. So, as the title of the video states, one of the Amiibo community leaders.
Excuse me.
Wow! One of the Amiibo community leaders, in the cover of night, about 5:30, his time, decided to put a tweet out, and we'll read the tweet to you. A quick note on spirits tournaments. For those of you who don't know, that's for when you take your Amiibo and you put equipment on them by feeding them spirits. You know, it's different from vanilla tournaments where you just train the Amiibo without actually giving it any stats or abilities. So, a quick note on spirits tournament. After doing some testing, I have decided to temporarily ban Olimar. His Pikmin are made disproportionately stronger by the effects of spirits. One smash attack deals well over 60% on charge. It's Little Mac all over again. Now,
And again, that was at about 5:30 Eastern Standard.
right, I clipped this around 8 o'clock. I'm recording this at 9. So this is around 6, and the way Twitter works, probably like 5:30 in the morning here. And one of the things I just want to point out about that tweet is, first off, he stated that he alone made that decision. Which
is somebody who's a community leader doesn't reflect the opinions of your whole community.
Especially if you're going to make a tweet that early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's something where you're probably asking yourself, well, wait a minute. Ultimate's only been out for, 10, 11 days? You're absolutely right. Less than 2 weeks and we're already banning things.
Which is a bit silly. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. It's a bit silly to be banning things already. It is a bit too early.
It's way too early. Like, give it a couple months. It's not even been 2 weeks.
You gotta let kinks work out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, regardless of whether it's going to be patched out or not, you're talking about getting rid of an entire character, which, if you take a look back at history, if you look at what happened, months after the game came out, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, a regular community, at one point, tried to ban Meta Knight. Because he was, as they consider broken. And he is actually one of the best characters in the Brawl format. And they ended up having to reinstate it because overseas players wouldn't come to tournaments anymore. And locals ignored the ban. And all of these other different things that just fragmented the community to the point where they just added them back. And there's definitely a reason showing that banning something completely isn't
the best option.
And on top, now I know also those of you who are, who have been in the Amiibo competitive community are going to say, well, what about what we did with Little Mac? What about what we did with Cloud? Now those things, those restrictions, first off, they weren't complete character bans, regardless of people, wanting it, which I still believe is the right decision. But even limiting them in the way that they were limited in Smash 4 was done after multiple tournaments, multiple people training the Little Mac and Cloud Amiibos and seeing what they did and showing off what they could do.
A lot of time.
Right, and you can't tell me that same amount of time, with those same amount of results, were achieved in 11 days. You can't tell me that.
No, there was way too much testing. I can't even say way too much. There was a lot more testing.
There was a lot more testing, and there's no such thing as too much. That's basically what Amiibo training is. We're testing to try to find the best things possible. That's basically what Amiibo training is. That's how it's going to work. And, I think that people over on his server and his community thought the same, because literally 50 minutes ago, you know, based on when we started recording this, Amiibo Dojo posted this. It is ridiculous that we live in a world where we have to ban Olimar, but good grief. It's very likely a glitch, and one that may or may not be patched in the future. Here's a more refined rule. Olimar can only be entered vanilla. I encourage all of you to follow the same rules. And once again, you know, this feels like a very top-down decision. This doesn't feel like this decision was talked about at all in the community, which, you know, even the Meta Knight ban was at least talked about.
Yeah.
You know, this didn't look like it was talked about at all. And just this type of leadership and the type of personalities that, you know, it brings along with it are like one of the reasons
Relatively toxic.
It's, well, you know, I'm going to say it's I think one of the leading reasons why that community ends up being as, I'm not even going to use the word toxic, I'm going to use elitist. You know, that community ends up being really elitist at times. And I think a lot of that just comes from poor leadership. And making a decision like this on your own, or even with 2 or 3 or 4 people that happen to be up and awake with you at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, your community has more people than that.
Yeah, he does have quite a few people in his
You know, I will say that. His community is large. For better or for worse, it's large. And the fact that he makes this post this early, and I know, even though I'm not in this community as of right now, we have members here at DDGA that are also members of Cloud9. And this came as a shock to them as well. In fact, guys, I'm not allowed to even see these tweets anymore. I have been blocked by Amiibo Dojo from seeing any of their tweets.
Not only our personal accounts, but also our DTGA account.
Everything has been blocked, so we can't even see any of their stuff. Which, you know, that's their prerogative. That's fine. You know, I'm not even mad. You know? In fact, I hope they see our response to this. I hope that they see that what they're doing is not okay for the community. This is something that, you know, if we were talking 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, and we had 50, 60 tournaments where you could look at tournament footage and see Olimar completely wrecking every time, I wouldn't be having this type of reaction. The game hasn't been out 2 weeks yet.
Yeah.
And we're already in a mindset of, hey, let's ban this because we don't like it. I mean, come on. Like, you know, people talk about that with the regular Smash Ultimate community. Hey, let's ban King K. Rool. Hey, let's ban Pikachu. Whatever. You know, but, you know, the reaction there is the same. You know, those are just people who are a little salty about some results. And, you know, the general consensus is, let's wait. You know, let's see what happens. It's too early. And I continue to say this. It is too early for any bans to be happening. That's why in our tournaments, not only do we not ban Olimar, we're not banning any types of equipment. We're not banning any types of setups. We have no basis to do so. We've literally had in our community 2 tournaments and a couple training videos. And that's going to increase. Don't get me wrong, but there is not enough information to be able to make a decision like this. And I just think it shows, my personal opinion here is I think it shows how the leader of Amiibo Dojo is out of touch, who feels a need to have the control over their community to a point where they will make a decision by fly of night and think that it's going to stick. And that's just my personal opinion. And if that personal opinion is true and weighted and has value, I also believe that states how poorly ran that community is in general, and the people that enjoy themselves there and the people that don't have problems with this shows you what the potential is that you can expect from them. Don't get me wrong, back during Smash 4, they were a great resource for information. You know, a lot of information was pulled together and made into some very useful text-based guides. And that was absolutely fantastic for its day. It was a great way to bring the community up. However, the way that things are being handled with Ultimate definitely leaves a lot to be desired. And while we aren't going to be, as DTGA, taking the steps to necessarily like make a website or make guides that are going to be, you know, the authority, quote unquote, of how to train an amiibo. While we're not going to be doing that, we are going to be trying and attempting to be one of the spearheads for the amiibo community. And we don't believe that people who spent $12.99 on an Olimar amiibo and spend anywhere from 5 to 40, 50 hours training them should have all of that training and all that money completely nullified because of one person's decision.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, maybe down the road we may nerf what he can have on him, but
that's not even something.
That's not anything anytime soon. That's going to be a while down the road, a few months down the road.
Yeah, and my thing is,
if that happens,
I'm going to be honest. I haven't tested Olimar. I haven't tested him. I haven't felt a need to. Testing something for a possibility of banning, before you even get to that point. I mean, look, I hate Smogon. I hate the Smogon Pokemon community. But even they, for 95% of their bans, they have what's called a suspect test. Where they say, hey, we're looking at possibly banning such and such. Lets the community get in and chime in. They have a ladder system and everything. There's very little of their bans that are done by 1, 2, 3 people. And the ones that have been done like that, they're quick bans or whatever.
Right.
Those have been received with such hatred, that making a move like this was absolutely, like, I'm dumbfounded. I wasn't planning on doing anything today as far as content. And when one of our members, showed me this tweet, I felt like I had to make this video and let you guys know that,
Olimar is not banned in our community.
No, it is not banned in our community, and not saying it won't be, but that's not for us alone to decide. That's not for one person alone to decide. That is for
It will be a group consensus.
Group consensus based on tournament results.
Yes.
Not based on 1, 2, or 3 people just testing at home. I mean, if we could just test at home and find out who's the best, why would we even send our bins to other people?
Right.
We wouldn't do that. These type of things need to be tested. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, just point out the corruption that is at the top end of Amiibo Dojo and their community, and how that could possibly trickle down into the community just based on the mindset of the leaders there. I'll say leader because I don't know if there was any other people who chimed in on this decision or not. But it's something that could trickle down, and, it's just something that this was a very bad decision, even if they recant on it a couple hours from now. The fact that they posted this at 5, 6 in the morning when most people are asleep.
Yeah.
Like, that just smells shady to me. And, I just think the Amiibo community could do better. And us at DTGA here, we're trying to make sure it does do better. And we do hope that if you are at all interested in Amiibo tournaments online or whatever, that if for some reason you have gone over to Amiibo Dojo and didn't find it to your liking, that you don't completely rule it out, that you realize that there are other sections of the community out there that are definitely have a more positive spin and a more let's have fun spin while still being competitive.
Yes.
And with that being said, I think we've talked about this quite long enough. We're going on close to 15 minutes. So just wanted to put this out there. Just wanted to, state our opinions on it. And
we wanted to make it clear that Olimar is not banned.
Yes.
In our community, you're more than welcome to use him, and whatever you'd like to use for him.
Yes. If we do make any changes regarding those particular structures,
yes,
we will be sure to let you know. Oh, and you know what? I just want to make one more statement here. I do want to point out that if you choose not to use skills or abilities on your Amiibo,
that's okay too.
It's okay, because there's a balancing mechanic. You get extra stat points. for not doing so. So there's plenty of room for customization. You know, plenty of it. And this decision just bothered me to my core. And I
You woke me up before my alarm.
Yes.
Just so we can make this video.
Yes, and I do hope...
That doesn't matter.
I do hope that... for the sake of the entire Amiibo community, that decisions like this do not happen in the future, that they happen in a more organized and in a more group consensual manner than just one person saying, oh, I'm going to do this.
Yep.
Because that is just not good for the community in general.
Yeah.
You know.
We'd like to keep it as a group thing.
You know, I believe the community would benefit from it being as a group. But, you know what? I'm done with talking about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to join our Discord and talk to us in person.
Because we're not toxic.
You know, as long as we keep it civil, you're more than welcome to come by and share your opinions.
We have lots of different channels that you
know,
can discuss
feel free to comment below with your opinions. Keep it civil.
Anything super uncivil will be removed.
Yes.
Because we don't want toxicity.
You know, and I mean, what do you guys think? Like, he hasn't really given very much evidence on, other than one Smash being a 60%. He doesn't really say what spirits he put on, what the levels are on, what abilities are on. He doesn't really say.
What equipment he put on.
You know, do you feel like this is an overbalance? Do you feel like this is something that, you know, makes him completely overpowered or not? That's, you know, for me, like, I haven't done any testing, but I just know the way that this has been gone about was wrong.
Agreed.
And even if it is powerful, even if it is slightly overpowerful, we're still way too early to do any type of damage.
Agreed.
So, let us know in the comments what you think. Keep it civil. Until next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep. Until next time, I'm Tosicamir.
And I'm STFUnicorn, reminding you it is dangerous to game alone.
Take this.
Thanks for watching. Bye.